Welcome back! In this session, we are going to set up our project, place grid markers, and import our floor plans to prepare ourselves for building. So first off, we want to change our units. We want to be working in centimeters. So under the Manage tab, go ahead and hit Project Units. Right now, we can see that our length is in millimeters. We want to change this to centimeters. So under Format, click this number, and for the units, in the drop-down, select centimeters, and hit OK, and OK. Down below in the description, I have attached several files that will serve as our building plans for our tutorial. Be sure to pause the video and take the time to download these files. Now, as you may have noticed, these files are formatted in a .dwg file type, which is the file type for AutoCAD. Don't open these files directly, as we will be opening these from within Revit. Now, under your project browser, double-click the floor plan for the first floor, level 1. And under the Insert tab, go ahead and hit Import CAD. Select the first floor Floor Plan.dvg from within the download link below. And hit Open. Wait for the file to load, and you should see a multicolored layout below. Click on the plan, and you should see a little press down pin. Go ahead and unpin that. And let's move this floor plan out of the way first, so we can work within this boundary marked by the 4 pointers. Now on the floor plan, you'll see grid lines A, B, C, D on the top, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right. These grid lines will help us align our position and position the plan to our model, and also act as helpful guides when building your model. To recreate the grid line, go to Architecture and click on Grid. We will first do the horizontal grid lines. Near the bottom of the workspace, drag from left to right a grid line. Now make sure that when you draw the grid line that your line snaps to the 90-degree mark indicated by the line. Next drag another one just above it. And with the second line selected, you can see there will be a dimension in blue indicating the distance between the two. Click on the number and change the distance to the one indicated by the floor plan you have just imported. For example, the first distance will be 330 centimeters, as indicated by the pink here. Type 330 and hit enter. And now do the same for the third line. And that will be 219 centimeters. And follow the same steps for the rest of the 6 grid lines. And pause the video and continue when you have finished. And now you should have something similar to what I have here. And now for the vertical grid lines. We can make use of a neat little trick in Revit. Now again, using the grid function, draw the line on the bottom left from the bottom to the top. Now with one line drawn, hit Escape twice to exit the grid drawing function. And with this vertical line selected, go to the Modify tab, which should be selected, and hit the Copy button, which has the picture of the white circle and the 2 blue circles. The grid line should be bordered by a blue dotted box. On the green bar above, make sure you select the Multiple and Constrain. which tells Revit you want to make multiple copies and ensure the copies are constrained to one another. Click on the vertical line and move to the far right, ensuring that the lines remain horizontal. Go ahead and type the number 425, which is the distance between grid lines A and B, and press enter. And next, the value 426, and press enter. And finally, 589, and press enter. When you have placed the 4 vertical grid lines, again, hit escape twice to exit your grid line drawing function. To rename your markers, double-click on the number and change the value to your desired indicator. In this case, we want to change the vertical lines to A, B, C, and D. Now we want to create the floor level references in the elevation. As you may have noticed in the project browser, we have north, east, south, and west views, which is signified by these 4 markers here. Now go to your west elevation view, and we will set up your elevation levels. Import the CAD file named Elevation West, and again, unpin and move this out of the way. Under the Architecture tab, click on Levels next to the grid. We have 8 different markers to place. You may have already 2 placed for you, and in a similar fashion as before, place your levels until you have 8 total markers. Now hit escape twice again to exit the level option. And now, double click each level number to change the altitude of each floor according to the bright yellow numbers on the floor plan here. For example, for level 2, you want this to be 270 centimeters. Pause the video for now and continue when you are done. Now you want to rename each floor according to the imported level elevation plan. For example, we have 1F here, so we want to change level 1 to 1F. And when it says, would you like to rename corresponding views, hit yes. And go ahead and rename each level according to this. And pause the video and continue when you are finished. Now you may have noticed in different elevation views that your grid line may not appear in a nice looking grid. Don't worry, just make sure you adjust the lengths of the grid lines by selecting a grid line and dragging it to the length or height that you want, such as this. Now make sure you double check your south view and make sure all your views have a good looking grid such as this. Finally, you want to align the first floor plan such that this plan matches the grid lines you just drew. Go to your first floor's floor plan view. Now, as a side note, if you imported your own plan either using a CAD file or an image, check to make sure the size is correct. Do so by selecting the plan and click Scale. Now Revit makes resizing really easy, as you just have to select two markers of a known distance and type out the actual number between them and hit enter. Now since our CAD file is in the right size, we can't skip this step. So under the Modify tab, click on the Align tool, which is indicated by the line and two rectangles. Now as a rule of thumb for the Align tool, click on the object you want to set as a reference first, and then you click on the object you want to move. So in this case, click on Gridline A, and then the Gridline A on the floor plan. This will align the plan horizontally, and follow the same steps by aligning the marker 1 to the marker on the floor plan. And hit escape twice to exit your function. Now go to your second floor plan and import the CAD file named 2-6 floor plan. And again, remember to unpin and align. And finally, go to your floor plan for the roof and import the roof floor plan and align the plan similar to before. Now in the next video, we will create the ground that the building will stand on. Thanks for watching.